water, earth, fire, air, and one odd-looking pilot. Sketchstar, master of bad audio syncing and dirty socks, was here to talk about the Avatar pilot. But when YouTube needed him the most, he disgusted. Now he's on the... I'm sick of this bit. Let's go on to the video. Avatar the Unaired pilot is the progenitor to the classic Nick animated series, Avatar The Last Airbender. Obviously. The idea for the series came about when Brian Konietzko and Michael D. Martino were tasked by Nickelodeon in 2002 to create an animated series that contained action and adventure and legends and lore, according to the Avatar Wiki. After sketching and thinking of a series that would suit well for the series they had in mind, Brian, or for the sake of this video, Konietzko, drew a picture of a man in a futuristic outfit with an arrow on his head, alongside other designs, one of which would become Naga in Legend of Korra. This sparked the idea that would eventually become Avatar. As the series was created and developed more, the sci-fi aspect of the series was phased out in favor of more martial arts and bending of the elements, which I'm very thankful for. It gave Nickelodeon a feel that really wasn't there before the creation of the series. The pilot was made and produced in 2003 and was animated by Tin House, a Korean animation studio, who animated a Korean movie called Sky Blue and an OVA for Macross Zero. Wait, I'm not even sure they actually even exist anymore. But I do know they didn't continue animating the series when it became a full show, which you can tell by the fluidity and how the characters look compared to the actual series. That honor eventually went to JM Animation, DR Movie, and Moe Animation. Speaking of animation, there are many noticeable differences. For one, the animation style is way more realistic in comparison to the more cartoony anime-inspired series. Another change is Aang's voice actor.
You're the Avatar, start acting like it. If that's the case, shouldn't I be using my skills to help?
Also, Katara's name is Kaya in this pilot, which will later become her mom's name in the original series. Also, Iroh is not in this pilot, guys. What the fuck is that? I don't know how accurate this is, but apparently Iroh was added to Ground Zuko, which even if this isn't the case, it makes a lot of sense. In this pilot, Zuko is way more childish and bratty, similar to like Bling Bling Boy from Johnny Test. Another change is that the Fire Army soldiers have a more flamboyant style compared to the more militaristic look of the actual series. One thing that's particularly interesting that happens in this pilot is that firebenders will use group attacks and combine their bending into one fireball, similar to how the ships fire weapons, which I wish would have carried on to the main series because it's actually a really interesting concept. There's also a really weird animation error where his scars on the other side of his face. And Aang's ability to go into the Avatar state comes off more as like a Kaioken power boost compared to being something Aang can barely control for most of the series going forward. Also, he can carry people on his glider while he flies, which is like kind of impossible, but you know, physics and everything, fuck it. All of that out of the way, let's get into the story of the pilot. The pilot starts as we get a very different version of the intro to the main series with changes here and there, like nation outfits and changed dialogue. We open as we see the gang getting attacked by Zuko and the Fire Nation and a giant sea serpent which appears and attacks the Fire Nation ship, which allows them to escape. We cut to an island as we watch as Kaya tries and develops her understanding of how to master waterbending. Aang teaches her about how bending works, giving us an early idea of the lore of building. After Aang loses the group's food, Sokka goes in search of more food and in process gets captured by the Fire Nation, probably for food. After some more adorable Katang moments, they find out that Sokka has been captured by the Fire Nation, and Kaya being Kaya gets captured to no one's surprise.
Dumbass motherfucker.
Aang decides that since he's the Avatar, he must help because it's his duty, so he goes to rescue Sokka. Aang arrives and then Zuko proceeds to drop them into a manhole.
Really miss my nigga.
We get a really cool scene with Momo and he's flying around fighting the other hawk that Zuko owns. Kind of like a parallel thing. It's pretty cool. It looks nice for the time. Kaya realizes there's water and remembers what Aang taught her earlier in the episode and manages to allow them to escape. We cut back to Aang and Zuko's fight as we get a really stellar sequence, and we watch as Aang goes into the Avatar state and manages to beat Zuko, all the while saving him, showing off his more compassionate side. And Aang saves Kaya and Sokka from the military base. The pilot ends as we watch Aang, Kaya, and Sokka fly away as we get a final monologue about how Aang has a destiny and blah blah blah. You know how Kaya is. And that's the pilot. Compared to other unaired pilots and episodes of this nature, this one was really well made, and from the animation to the story being told, you can really see how this show would become a major hit going forward, and how much of what would be in the original show was being set up here. It's very entertaining, and unlike the last early endeavor, this pilot is entirely available on YouTube, and was only originally available on the DVD of Avatar. It was interesting to see how far the series has come since its conception, and the legacy that all started with this pilot, from the series, to Korra, to the infamous live-action movie, and now Avatar Studios, which will broaden the Avatar universe and introduce these characters from humble beginnings to an entirely new generation. This pilot is a true testament to anyone who has an idea. It may not be an overnight success, but if you have a vision and something interesting to say, then the sky's the limit. My name is Sketchstar. Peace, love, and all that stuff. Good night.